Hey guys, this is a quick video about my hospital assessment that I had done this week. This video will be more interesting for people who are pregnant themselves and curious about what happens if you leak fluid and are having an assessment performed. And if you're somebody who is maybe a little bit squeamish about a hospital environment and wants a realistic insight about what happens in a non-scary way. If you're keeping up with my videos just for fun and yay, nothing really dramatic happens, so it's not like a super exciting hospital thing, so this might be a video you just want to pass over. Okay, so what happened? On Saturday, Joe and I were going to my friend Craig's house for a big birthday party for me and another friend, and while I was getting ready, I noticed that I had fluid leaking down my leg on both sides, but the one side, it was like a teardrop amount of fluid that went all the way down to my ankles, which is a long distance for fluid to go. And I've had this sensation before where I feel like there's some sort of leaking happening, and I've chalked it up to pregnancy, discharge, or yeah, this is a TMI type video. I've chalked it up to pregnancy, discharge, or like people have said you can pee yourself and not know, even though I don't think I'm peeing myself, but whatever. And Joe and I, in this instance where I had fluid to my ankles, we had a sexy time like just before this, and so it's possible that it could just be like seminal fluid or something, but the viscosity was pretty quick and the color was clear. So that got me a little concerned that this could possibly be leaking amniotic fluid. Of course, I did some Googling instead of calling my doctor, and I was like, okay, this probably isn't a big deal because there's only a little bit, it doesn't have like a sweet smell, and I've had this sensation before, and it's probably just been like increased discharge or whatever going on. So in short, didn't worry about it, and thought, okay, we have a prenatal appointment on Tuesday, that's only 3 days away, so I'll just bring this up at the prenatal. So we go to the prenatal, and in our class, we have our prenatal appointments are mixed with our prenatal classes. So there's a group of, say, 8 of us, and they have a topic of the week which they discuss. And I wanted to ask about this, and when it became turn to kind of ask questions, I brought up this fluid issue, which is really fun when there's guys in the room. Great. And she's like, maybe we should touch base about this after the class. I'm like, okay, great. So we touch base afterwards, and she's like, yeah, that might be something you want to get checked, and we're deciding whether we want to check you here at the birth center or send you to the hospital. And they decided to send me to the hospital to get assessed and checked and all that jazz. So Joe and I drove to the hospital, which was actually good because we had to park where we'd be parking if we were for when I go into labor anyways, and go to the birth center, birth unit, which is where we would go when I go into labor, and check in and get assessed, and then they had me put on, like, derobe down to like no bra and undies, yay, and lay on the bed, put a fetal monitor on, and they just checked his heart rate to see that everything was okay, and then we were waiting for one of the doctors from the birth center to come over to meet us to check me, and the doctor came and checked me, but this process was really drawn out. It took like 2 hours before we actually got a room and got checked, and when she checked me, there was no problem. Like, everything looked normal, amniotic sacs intact, I guess. There's no fluid leaking, and what she's doing is, it's just like having a pap test done, where you've had a pap test done. It's like having a pap test done for them to check whatever they're checking for fluid levels. And as far as the fetal monitoring goes, I want to add that it is possible for your fetal monitor to suddenly, like, you hear your baby's heartbeat, it's like ba-bum, 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 and then there's a period of time where you don't hear the baby's heartbeat, and that could be just because the fetal monitor isn't picking up the baby all of a sudden, not because the baby's heart stopped, because I had this moment of why did it stop beeping? Yeah, kind of freaked me out. But it was fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything's fine. We don't know, like, it was probably a combination of like other things that were leaking, but just to say that getting some basic fetal monitoring done isn't a big deal, and I wanted to make a video about it just because I know I'm nervous about going to a hospital, and I know some people might be nervous about assessment as well, but I would just say to really not worry about it, because it's good practice to go to the hospital and get admitted and have the gown on and everything, because it makes you feel like, okay, this is what's going to happen for me in 2 months anyways, and it's not really a big deal, and they're just checking basic stuff, so it's all good. And I don't know if that's helpful for anybody else, but it was interesting for me, so.